Let me tell you a story about four magicians and how they each found the aces when they were lost in the deck. So first, we break the deck into a bunch of piles and put them on top of the aces. Alright, now we have four piles. So we're going to lose the aces in each pile. Each ace is lost into the middle of the deck. We'll cut the cards. And then the first magician takes the deck and he says, the way I like to find the aces is to use an indicator card, a card that tells me where the ace is. And he spreads out the cards and you see that there's one card that's face up, a 7. The magician says, that means that the ace is 7 cards down. And he takes the 7 and he counts 7 cards down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he finds the first ace. The next magician says, that's too slow. The way I like to do it is just snap my fingers and an ace will turn face up. And he spreads out the deck and surely there's an ace face up. The next magician says, okay, that's 2 down, 2 to go. And he says, the way I like to do it is to spell it out. He goes ACBOFDIAMOND and then S, and he flips over the S and it is the ace of diamonds. Now they hand the deck to the fourth magician and they say, all right, show us what you got, find the ace of spades. And the magician, he's kind of inexperienced and he says, okay, first he tries to look for an indicator card. He doesn't see anything. He tries to snap his fingers and make an ace turn face up, and he doesn't find anything. Next, he tries spelling it. ACEOFSPADES, but it's not here. So he says, fine, none of your guys' methods worked, so I'm going to try a new method. I'm going to split up the deck into 2 piles like this. And the other magicians are all thoroughly confused because they've never seen anything like this before. And the magician spreads the deck into 2 halves. And he separates the 2 halves and he goes, I think that the ace is in this one. He puts down the half that doesn't have the ace and he repeats it again. The other magicians are all starting to whisper among themselves about what a crazy and wacky idea this is, because they've never seen anyone do this before. And the magician takes the 2 piles. I still think it's in here. And he puts the other one down. Now he's running out of cards. So we're going to see if he's right. He splits up the piles again till he's left with 2 cards. He says the ace has to be one of these. And I think this is it. And the other magicians are all suitably impressed because he found the ace of spades. And they're about to clean up the deck and walk away when he says, wait a minute. Not only did I find the ace, but I also found a royal flush. Welcome to Magic Class. For this trick, the fabulous 4 aces, you're going to need the 4 aces, the king through 10 of spades, and a 7. To start, you'll count 13 cards down, and place the 7 in the 14th position. Put the other 13 cards back on top. Now turn over the deck, and take the king and the queen and put 1 random card after the queen, place the jack on top, take 3 more cards and place them in between the jack and the 10, and take the entire arrangement and put it on top of the deck. Now you'll turn over the deck, and this is where the trick starts. You've got the 4 aces, and you'll count 9 cards down, 3, 6, 9, and you'll place them on top of the ace of clubs. Next, you'll count down 4 cards. You'll turn them over on top of the deck. And this is a little bit tricky, but you're going to try to do a double lift and lift up the 7 as well, along with the 4 face down cards. You want to lift up the 7 and place it on top of the ace. And then you'll count down 11 cards, 3, 6, 9, 11. and place them on top of the ace of diamonds, and take the rest of the deck and place it on top of the ace of spades. Now, you'll lose each card into the middle of the deck. You'll take the ace of clubs and place it 3 cards up from the bottom. Then take the ace of hearts, making sure not to expose the 7 that's hidden here, and place it on top of the first pile, and pick up the rest of it and place that on top. Now take the ace of diamonds and place it on top of its own pile, place everything on top of that, and then take the ace of spades, put it on top of its own pile, and now put everything on top of that. Now you can tell your spectator that all the aces are lost into the deck and you can do a false cut. This one doesn't actually change the order of the deck. You'll see we've still got all of our cards in order. Next, you'll say, okay, to find the first ace, we're going to use an indicator card. And you can snap your fingers or something and show that the 7 of diamonds is face up. So you'll take all the cards on top of the 7 of diamonds and place them face up on the table. And now you're going to do a double lift. You'll lift up the 7 and the card underneath it, which is the ace of hearts. And you'll lift up the 2 and you'll place them together on top of the pile. Now you'll tell your spectator the 7 means that the ace is 7 cards down, and you'll count down 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You found the ace of clubs. Now take the entire arrangement, making sure not to expose the face-up ace of hearts in here, and you'll put it on top. And now you'll say, okay, to find the second one, you can wave our hand over the deck, and if we spread out the deck, you'll see that the ace of hearts turns face up. Now place everything back on top in order. And now you're going to take 2 cards off the top and slide them to bottom. You can do this by saying, all right, that's 2 down, 2 to go, and instead of placing them back on top, you can put them on the bottom. And now you'll say, for the ace of diamonds, we're going to spell out ace of diamonds. You'll turn each card over, you spell A, C, E, O, F, D, I, A, M, O, N, D, S, and that's the ace of diamonds. Now don't put this pile back on top of the deck, just square it up and put it off to the side. And now you'll find the ace of spades. To do this, you'll say, okay, first we can look for an indicator card, and there is none. Then we can snap our fingers and see if an ace turned face up, and there's still none. Now we can try to spell it. A, C, E, O, F, S, P, A, D, E, S, but there's no ace of spades. Now it's very important to take these cards and put them on top of the other pile. By the way, the ace of spades is right here now. And now we're going to start splitting the deck into 2 halves. And just keep track of which half the ace of spades is in. And you just split the deck into 2 halves like this. You can deal it into 2 piles if that's easier. And while you're doing this, make sure to keep on talking and keeping your spectators engaged. And you can say that you're fairly confident that the ace is in this half, and this is right there. And you'll see that this is the king. And now you'll do it again. You'll split the deck into 2 halves. And you'll say, I think the ace is still in here. And it is, it's the top card. Just remember that. In order to just keep track of where the ace is, just remember which pile you slid the top card onto. Just make sure to alternate the cards. And just, okay, the ace of spades is in here, and this one's the ace of spades. And you can just mix them up, but make sure to keep track of where the ace of spades is. And you can say, okay, I think that this one's the ace of spades, and you place the extra card on top of the first pile. Now you can say, well, it might have been impressive to find all 4 aces. Make sure to place the ace of spades on top of this pile that has nothing on it. And then you can say, it's even more impressive if you find an entire royal flush and reveal that all the other piles have king through 10 of spades on them.